You are 19. The card arrives in the mail in a thin white envelope. Your name is printed on the front in raised letters. You run your thumb across it. It feels like something. You're not sure what yet. The limit is $200. The interest rate is printed on page 4 of the terms. You don't read page 4. Nobody told you to. Nobody told you what 24% means when you carry a balance. Nobody told you that the minimum payment is designed to keep you paying forever. You use it once. A jacket. $67. You feel something when the terminal beeps and approves you. Not quite power, the shape of it. You make the minimum payment. $15. You feel responsible. You don't know yet that the remaining $52 is now growing quietly in the background. That $52 will cost you more than the jacket. More than 2 jackets. But the jacket is hanging in your wardrobe, and the interest is invisible, so only one of them feels real. The first rule of debt is this: it never starts as debt. It starts as permission. Something happened. It doesn't matter what. A car repair, a broken phone, a month where the numbers didn't add up, and the card was the only thing that did. You told yourself it was temporary. You would pay it off next month. Next month came. You paid what you could. The balance barely moved. You looked at the statement and felt something you hadn't felt at $200. Not excitement. Something quieter and colder. You open a second card to manage the first. The limit is higher this time, $3,500. They approved you in 48 seconds. You think about what that means for a moment, and then you stop thinking about it, because thinking about it doesn't help. You are now paying interest on interest. The terminology for this exists. You don't know the terminology yet. You just know that the number doesn't go down the way it should. You pay $150, and the balance drops $40. The other $110 disappeared into a structure you agreed to on page 4 of a document you didn't read when you were 19. The second rule: the minimum payment is not a solution. It is a subscription to the problem. You don't talk about it. Not to your partner, not to your friends. You have learned to perform fine. You know the exact tone of voice that makes people stop asking. You use it often. The number lives in your phone. In an app you check and then close quickly, like looking at something that might look back. $8,000 across 3 cards. The interest alone is $160 a month. $160 that produces nothing, buys nothing, goes nowhere you can see or touch or use. You do the math one night at 1 a.m. If you stopped spending entirely and paid $300 a month, it would take you nearly 3 years to clear. 3 years of $300 a month to undo decisions you barely remember making. The math sits on the screen, and you stare at it. And then you close the app, and you go to sleep. Because there is nothing useful to do with that feeling at 1 a.m. You get a letter from a debt consolidation company. They know your name, they know your balance. They offer to combine everything into one lower monthly payment. The word lower is printed in bold. The word longer is not printed anywhere. The third rule: $8,000 is the first number that changes how you sleep. This is the level nobody plans for. This is the level that happened. A redundancy, a medical bill, a relationship that ended and left you holding half the rent alone, a business that didn't work, a year that cost more than it gave back. The specifics are different for everyone. The number looks the same. You apply for a personal loan to consolidate the cards. You are approved. The rate is 14%. You use the loan to pay off the cards. For 3 weeks, you feel like you solved something. Then the cards have a zero balance. And a zero balance is a limit you haven't used. And there are things you need. And the cards are right there. 2 years later, the loan still has $16,000 on it. And the cards have $6,000 between them. And the total is higher than when you started. Nobody warned you this was the most common outcome of debt consolidation. The warning exists. It was on page 4. You stop opening certain letters. Not ignoring them, just not opening them yet. The pile on the counter has a shape now. You walk past it. You know what's in it. You choose not to confirm it. The fourth rule: $20,000 is not a number. It is a posture. The way you stand when someone asks how you're doing, and you say fine without pausing. The debt has a structure now. It is no longer a mistake. It is a system you live inside. There is the high interest card you are trying to kill. There is the loan with 4 years remaining. There is the car finance that seemed reasonable at the time because it was broken into months, and months feel manageable in a way that totals do not. There is the student loan you almost forget about until it appears on your payslip like a tax you never voted for. You earn more than you did at 19. You have less freedom than you did at 19. The gap between what comes in and what leaves has not grown. It has just filled with different things. Better things. Things with warranties and insurance and monthly payments that prove you are doing well. Your credit score is decent. This is the strange part. The system looks at all of this and calls you reliable. You have demonstrated a consistent ability to borrow and repay and borrow again. That pattern is exactly what the system was designed to reward. You are a good customer. You are a profitable customer. You are a customer who will spend the next decade generating interest income for institutions that approve you in 48 seconds. The fifth rule. At $45,000, the debt stops feeling like a crisis. That is the most dangerous thing that can happen to it.
The mortgage. You sign 47 pages. The appointment takes 90 minutes. A person across a desk explains terms in a voice designed to sound reassuring. You nod at the right moments. You sign where the tabs indicate. You understand approximately a third of what you are agreeing to. The number at the top of page 1 is $300,000. The number at the bottom of the amortization schedule on page 31 is $498,000. The difference is what the bank earns from you over 25 years. Nobody points to that number. Nobody circles it. It sits there quietly on page 31 while the person across the desk congratulates you on your new home. You own nothing yet. The bank owns it. You own the right to live in it while you pay the bank back for buying it. That is the arrangement. It is not a bad arrangement. It is just not what the word ownership suggests when you held those keys in the car park and felt the weight of them. You are now a person with a mortgage. Something has shifted. Not in your bank account, in how people talk to you. There is a seriousness in the word that changes the room slightly. You notice it. You don't mention it. The sixth rule. A mortgage is the only debt that makes you feel like you achieved something. That feeling is not accidental.
Somewhere between level 1 and level 6, you stopped thinking of debt as something you were in and started thinking of it as something you managed. That shift happened quietly. Nobody announced it. You just woke up one day and the number on the screen was no longer a source of shame. It was a column in a spreadsheet, a line item in a budget, something to be optimized. That is what they mean when they say you are good with money now. You are not good with money. You are fluent in debt. There is a difference. Being fluent in debt means you know which balances to prioritize, which interest rates to attack, which monthly payments are worth refinancing. It means you can hold $120,000 of liability and still feel in control. Control and freedom are not the same number.
This level has no balance. That is what makes it invisible. The card still exists, you just don't carry a balance. The mortgage still runs, but the rate is fixed and the overpayments are scheduled, and the end date is visible from here. The car is paid off, the personal loan closed 2 years ago. You marked the day in your calendar. You didn't tell anyone. It didn't seem like the kind of thing that needed an audience. You open the app now without the feeling. The one that lived behind your sternum for years. The cold thing that came with the login screen. It's gone. You didn't notice it leave. It left the way debt arrived. Quietly, incrementally, over time. You think about the 19-year-old with the $200 card and the jacket and the feeling when the terminal beeped. You remember that feeling. You understand it now in a way you couldn't then. It wasn't power. It was borrowed confidence. The bank's confidence in your future self, rented out to your past self at 24% per year. You were paying interest on who you hadn't become yet. The eighth rule. 0 is not the absence of something. 0 is the first number that is entirely yours. Somewhere, right now, someone is 19. A thin white envelope arrived this morning. Their name is on the front in raised letters. They are running their thumb across it. The limit is $200. The interest rate is on page 4.
They won't read page 4. Nobody told them that this is where it starts. Not with a crisis, not with a bad decision, with a beep, an approval, a jacket, and the quiet, patient beginning of a system that was designed to know exactly what comes next, even when they didn't.